Bonjour, I'm Carrie Moran McCleary, Little Shell, Chippewa. I live on Upsalaga lands in Two-Legans, Montana. I'm honored to participate in the Brinton 101 show again this year. I brought 3 different pieces. These were all made in the last several months, starting when we got quarantined for COVID. It was sort of interesting because these were all, except for this, pieces that I had been thinking about doing for over a year. Never had the time to get to. We get busy with orders and trying to prep stock for shows, and sometimes we don't get to do our wish list. So I feel very blessed that I've had the opportunity to do that now. The first piece is a beaded conch belt. There's 5 conches and a matching buckle. It's on a distressed leather vintage belt, which it could be changed. They slide right on and off, but I liked the look of this belt. This is called a prairie rose, and it's a rose that my tribe uses. It's sort of similar to the Shoshone rose, which most people in Wyoming are familiar with, but it's a little bit different take. It's flat stitch applique in a size 11 beads. It has quite a few colors in it, and that's sort of my trademark. I really like to mix different colors. People always say they recognize my beadwork because of the coloring. The second piece I brought was a set of cowboy cuffs. They are wool, trade cloth wool beads. This is a Shaps leather. I had a leather worker in Hardin cut them out for me, and they're laced up in the back. They have a leather lining scraps from another leather worker friend out of Billings, Montana. This is the Morning Glory pattern, and it's a flower I wanted to bead for many years, and I never found a pattern for it that I really liked, and when I would draw it, it just didn't come to life for me. Then an older friend brought me a pair of moccasins to be repaired, and they had a very similar Morning Glory on the top of the moccasin, and I was thrilled. I said, oh, finally, there's my Morning Glory pattern. So I asked her if I could, sort of take from her moccasin pattern, and she said, of course. So I did, and this is what we came up with. That was a crow-made pair of moccasins, so this is a little bit more of an Ojibwa take on that. I really like them. I think they would fit anybody from probably a teen fully laced up tight like this. They could go pretty wide, and you could even put a larger lace in them for a man. And they're not going to protect your shirts without hurting the cuff like what we used to wear cowboy cuffs for. But I just think they'd look really sharp if you went out into a big gathering. People would really notice you at the rodeo with those. And the blue color is pretty neutral, I think. The last piece I brought is this COVID face mask. I mentioned in the catalog that when COVID broke, I was in Chicago at the Field Museum. There was a show opening for another piece that I sent there for the Upsalaga opening. And sort of everything happened while we were there. And it was so crazy because at the beginning of the week, we were, doing ceremonies and dances at the Field Museum in Chicago, and people were stopping us in the streets wanting to know what we were wearing and taking pictures with us in elk-tooth dresses. And when we went to go home, it was just a changed day. We were wearing gloves, we were scared, we had, all kinds of hand sanitizers, and we were just didn't know what was happening. It was so scary, but we weren't wearing masks yet. I remember seeing a mask at a gas station and thinking, oh, we're not going to be there yet. And now we're there. So as Indians do, we have to take our own shot at what a mask should really look like. And this is deer buckskin. And this is the inside of a pattern that I make really frequently, actually. It's a bigger floral, Ojibwa floral, but I just took the center of it for this piece. It does come up under the chin. It fits very nicely. It has adjustable ear straps. I played with a lot of different face mask patterns once the pandemic began. Being a sewer, people were coming and asking me to make masks. This was the pattern that I landed on that I liked the best. So that's what I used. It has the 3 florals, and then it's trimmed in floral a beadwork edging, and the inside has, I'm gonna take this apart really quick. The inside has the fabric that I designed. It has photographs of my beadwork in satin. So it's kind of a fun liner. I was excited to use it for the first time. We did do some buckskin masks for a show, a fashion show at the University of Montana. And the kids said that they could breathe through the buckskin, that it was okay. They weren't, hindered at all. So there you go. Those are the 3 pieces. I hope that everyone is staying home, staying healthy, and you find ways to celebrate the holidays safely.